Welcome
It's
to an
really
all new episode
depressing.
of GVN. Wait, what?
No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't know you. I didn't know you were gonna jump in. I was more so talking to myself. Didn't know it was gonna end when it did.
I thought that might have been the case, but I'm like, all right, maybe Didge did have something to say. Let me not be rude. Welcome back, guys, to an all new episode of GVN Sports. We have been gone for a while. Sorry about that. There were contract negotiations with Joel. He's a diva. We had to get that sorted out, but we're back.
I tried to get
We're back.
traded. I demanded a trade. It didn't work out.
Didge did. He pulled a Kyrie Irving, but I pulled the Brooklyn. Yo, ass ain't going nowhere until I'm ready. So, so we were able to get that figured out. And luckily, we were able to keep Joel here. We were able to handle those contract negotiations. So I appreciate you, Joel, for staying here. Very much appreciate it.
I appreciate being appreciated.
You were in high demand. You were very much in high demand. I'm just glad you didn't pull an Aaron Rodgers. You were decisive. You said, this is where I want
my trade offer. I was trying.
He did. He offered some Slim Jims, Joel, and that was very hard for me to turn down. I said, well, God, how many?
It was supposed to be.
He wasn't talking enough.
We were gonna get traded.
Yeah.
Package.
But no,
And then I saw
when it was cut off.
Yeah.
No, what I was saying when I came in and said it's really depressing, I was talking about how that the theme song, it's really depressing that's not the NBA anymore. It's for college basketball.
Yeah.
That's a lot of ass.
Yep, really that is the world we live in now. But hey, basketball be too annoying. I kind of be feeling like, hey, y'all don't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't deserve that theme song. Y'all
what you mean?
They're not consistent enough. I don't know. It should be pissing me off.
Why are you annoyed with basketball? Did the Knicks lose recently?
Yeah, no, they actually won.
Basketball.
Yeah. That is extremely when I get annoyed with basketball as a whole too. I be taking that shit out on the whole league. Oh, man, fuck Adam Silver.
Oh, you guys lost your winning streak.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we only went on like a 2 or 3 game losing streak, and then we bounced back against Anthony Davis.
Yeah, 3-game losing streak to counter.
Anthony Davis couldn't score on Isaiah Hartenstein, so
I missed all of last week. I didn't know you guys lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, that was the AD stopper for anybody that didn't watch that Knicks game right there. You want to stop Anthony Davis besides putting a little bit of water on the court? Put Isaiah Hartenstein on his ass.
Brunson's been hurt that period too, though.
Yeah, he got injured, I think, in that Celtics game that we won.
Oh yeah, he's day.
Yeah, and it's just been lingering.
Well, he tried to play the Celtics game without him, the first one.
No, that's what I'm saying. We won the game, but it's been lingering since that towards the end of that winning streak. Towards the end of that winning streak. No, that Celtics game he didn't play. Right. So before that, maybe the Miami game. In the Celtics game?
No, that was the breakout quickly game.
Oh, all right. Well, we're gonna get into all this. Hold on.
Yeah. Wait. I'm just going off stats. So
no. It's all right. We're gonna get into all this because I do want to talk a little bit about the Knicks too, the Bucks too. It's good to see Brook Lopez almost get his ass beat. You know what I'm saying? Kind of feel like that might be,
he had him in a chokehold. I don't know if we're gonna.
I don't know. I saw photos of my hands around Brook Lopez's neck. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Trayvon, who's going to be joining us soon to talk about KD, Kyrie, pick a K. So we appreciate Trayvon. Thank you, Trayvon. Shout out to listener Jim. Colts lost Stephon Gilmore today to the Cowboys. Colts fans are waiting patiently to see what our clowns are going to do. Hopefully draft a franchise quarterback. We got so spoiled. I'm be honest with you. Me and Joel talked about this like maybe a month ago. It is really daunting to know that you guys had Peyton Manning, right? Did not believe in him in that last year. Let him go. Then the gods gave you Andrew Luck. And you did the only thing that a franchise cannot do with a franchise quarterback. I don't know how you manage to never put an offensive line around Andrew Luck. I mean, never. I mean, Andrew Luck essentially was hiking to himself. That's how bad it was.
Jonathan Taylor right after that.
100%. I'm going to tell you this, Didge. Matt Ryan, I don't even think got sacked as much as Andrew Luck.
Probably
That's
not.
insane. And Andrew Luck took you to an AFC championship. So I don't know, man. To me, I am very much of the mindset. I view the Colts the same way I view the Pelicans, right? You had Anthony Davis, then you had Zion, right? Now, mind you, I do not believe you should be able to strike gold twice as a franchise, right? So for me, it's like, no, you got to work your way all the way back up. You got to work your way all the way back up.
That Zion one is not looking so hot right now.
No, it's not. But guess what? I remember Joel, the Pelican fans was talking so much shit to the Knicks. Oh, y'all thought y'all was going to get Zion? I'm just saying. When's the last full season he played? That's all I'm saying.
When he plays, though, he's amazing. When he plays.
Here's the crazy part, right? Everyone made fun about the Knicks landing at number 3, right? John Morant out here strip clubbing it, suspensions and all that, guns and gangs and all that. Zion can't turn a plate down. So I'm like, hey, right now RJ looking like gold. No, I'm just saying.
Zion looks very much in shape. He's just hurt. He
hiding that. He
was in shape. I don't know if he's
He hiding it. He eating right this moment. He hide that shit. Let's see what else we got from Mr. Jim. I'm still puzzled how they handled Luck. Yeah, it's so wild because look, it's not just a Colts thing. I believe Washington handled RG3 worse. Worse. I didn't even know that could be possible. How do you handle something worse than it? The Colts were so bad. Andrew Luck said, "You know what? I'm good. In my prime, I'm good. Retiring. Done."
You see how happy he looks now that when they saw the game?
You want to know why, Didge? Because he saw that Tua game and went, I had a couple of those, Tua. No more. I said, no, thank you. No mas. No mas. So he probably smiling. He's smiling, wife smiling, everybody happy.
He looks so happy.
Yeah, You see RG3, he look happy.
Yeah, he does too.
Hell yeah. He can walk fine. Like, I bet life is good over there for him.
He be on ESPN doing college game day.
Hell yeah. Loving life. Like, fuck out of here. Getting sacked by a full team while my offensive line just stand there.
Right.
All right, so let's get into it, guys. I want to start off with NBA because I have a bunch of questions for you guys in regards to the NBA. So first, I want to start off with I was listening to I think it was Inside the NBA last week, and they were talking about how Jokic could be looking at a back-to-back MVP season, right? Now, what's bothering me about that is I recall the same NBA telling us, essentially not literally with their words, but telling us we cannot give it to a player that many times in a row, right?
That's off parity.
I mean, I watch them give it to Nash, and you guys know how much I love Nash now that he's not with Brooklyn, over Kobe and Shaq. And that just seemed like it was purely because of parity. Steve Nash wasn't better than Kobe Bryant or Shaquille O'Neal. I can't even say his numbers were better than Shaq or Kobe Bryant. So you did it for the sake of parity. When you gave it, the fact that LeBron didn't have it. Remember, he went to the finals 10 years in a fucking row. You could make a case he could have won it 10 years in a fucking row. Now, mind you, out of those 2 years was Kevin Durant, the 2 from Steph Curry, right? One was a unanimous. One was, I think, a season or 2 after that.
The D Rose one is the one we should talk about. The D Rose one. That's the one is like, really? You know, had a great year that year. I get it. I was in Chicago that year. That was one of the years I was living there. I get it. He had a great year. He did a lot for the city. Did a lot for that team. His numbers weren't better than LeBron's by any means.
100%. But I do think it was more so the shock and awe of Rose's season, right? What he was able to do, how he was able to lead that team. I'm not arguing with you, Didge, on you got to give it to LeBron. I'm 100% with you. But what's bothering me about this Jokic thing is that if parity is what we're aiming for, right? And Didge, again, Giannis is starting to become on that LeBron level where it's like you can just give it to him every year. So I'm good off Giannis getting another one right now.
You see the name. Giannis MVP or we ride
I definitely see it.
We ride at dawn.
I don't know how you look Joel Embiid and Jason Tatum in the eyes and tell them, nah, Jokic. I just don't understand that. If what you're saying is parity matters. Because then what I'm going to hold you to is, okay, so if next year, right, if Jokic has around the same numbers, I guess he's four-peating it. Because now you're setting a standard to where you're saying anything Jokic does even remotely close to the stratosphere of what he did last year or the year before, you're going to reward him with an MVP season. And so what does a play? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ditch.
No, I was just going to say what's weird is the explanation that they usually give with that is, well, it's because now it's expected of them. You have to go above and beyond. But all of a sudden, that's not the thing anymore. It's, well, look at the year he's having, but it's like, yeah, it should be expected of him because he's done it before.
Right. But to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm asking this. I'm not stating it like a fact. Are the Celtics number one in the East?
Bucks are.
Oh, the Bucks are the number one in the East. Okay. So for me, I kind of feel like if you wanted to put Giannis's name up there, cool. You wanted to put Jokic's name up there, cool. You want to put Embiid's name up there, cool. Jason's name up there, cool. But if you give this award to Jokic, I don't see how, if you're a Nuggets fan and Jokic has around the same season, because remember, they're not equating it by wins and losses.
They can't. The Nuggets were a 6th seed last year.
That's what I'm saying. So you're not equating it by wins and losses. I believe Russell Westbrook won it the year he was the 8th seed, right? Now, again, I understand you gave it to him because historical season, no problem. No one's arguing that, okay? Even though Harden just had a more impactful season than Russell Westbrook did. Just putting it out there.
I will say it's tough when somebody averages a triple-double. It's tough to say you're not MVP.
Yeah, but now, you know what's crazy is now it seems like you're getting at least a player a year that's averaging around a triple-double a season, right? Or damn near close to it, you know? So now it's like, because remember, that's what it sounds like their guidelines are as to why they're giving it, why they're saying Jokic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, well, now it doesn't make what Russell Westbrook did seem that special because now it seems like it's a more common thing now, especially with you not being able to guard people the way that you used to.
It's still rare, but it's definitely more, it's happening more often, but it's still rare.
And again, think about those seasons where Harden was averaging like in the 30s. Right in the 30s. I mean, just on a whirlwind.
Well, that's the problem.
And none of them were rewarded with an MVP. No, but I'm saying, Joel, when Harden was doing it, that was not something that it felt like almost every franchise had a player that was getting around 25 to 30.
Right, and that, especially that was rare, and so was what Russell Westbrook was doing was rare.
Right.
So that's why I understood the whole. The dynamic between the two, saying which one should have earned it that year or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I agree that there shouldn't be so much. There should be parity. A 2 in a row, fine. I don't think he deserves it this year, even though he's definitely putting up the numbers. And they're number one in the West, but they're not number one in the league. And
Boston does have a better record than them. And I get it. I'm gonna sound biased because I want Giannis to win it. I didn't even think Giannis should have had it. I thought Embiid should have had it last year. Like, if you go back towards the end of the year, I was saying Embiid should probably have it. So it's like
they'll probably make up that year this year.
They should, but they're probably not. They're gonna give it to Jokic.
Right. So Dij, I want to start off with you because you're my numbers guy, right? So I want you to tell me. Now, again, I'm not asking you to just give it to me on the spot. Please look it up.
I'll have it up already.
Okay, perfect. Because what I was gonna ask is last year, right? If you wanted to give it to Jokic 2 years ago, I'll give it to you. Won't even argue. Won't even take us down that road, right? But last year, I believe his numbers were almost identical to the year before. Now, they did improve, but I don't think it was a drastic enough leap for you to tell me he deserved it back to back. To be in the conversation for it, no problem. But to win it?
His points per game, I guess you would, if you're rounding, it went up 1 point.
Right.
He averaged less assists. No, he averaged the same amount of assists, and he had 2 more rebounds. But all of those he had more assists than Embiid, but Embiid had 3 more points and 2 more rebounds than him.
Right. Who had the better record last year?
The Sixers. I think they were 3rd in the East. Technically, it might have been 4th because it was like a tie record type of deal.
Right. But that's why I'm saying it feels like goalposts moving, right? Because it's like, well, you don't reward winning. I don't understand, because remember that race we all believe was that close between those two, that a winning record should have been what favored one over the other, right? So it's like Didge, explain this to me, man. And who do you have, non-biasedly, who do you have winning the MVP this year?
I mean, it's tough. I do think they're going to give it. If Jokic, he's averaging a triple-double. The goalposts are going to move back to, well, look what he did. And it's very disheartening, because it does seem like every year, whatever the criteria is for MVP changes based off of who they say the quote unquote golden boy is.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's like, is Jokic the most valuable player? Probably not. But are they going to claim he is? Probably. So it's one of those things where it's like, at this point, it is what it is. My guy has 2 of them already, so I'll live with it. I'm on the bigger and better things with it, and I hope these players from other teams are on the bigger and better things, because the MVP is very political now, and it's, are you the golden boy?
Right, and to me, it's kind of just like I said, I said this before. I do believe that when it comes to these award shows, when it comes to awards in sports, I believe that you should have to stand on why you picked who you picked. There should be an explanation as to what the criteria is that you graded it by, as to why that pick was your pick. I do believe you should have to stand on that. Because to me, if you gave that... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, finish that sentence first.
No, I was just going to say, I believe that if players know what the criteria is, they can aim for it, right? They know, like, okay, winning doesn't matter. Fuck winning. We could be literally the last seed in the NBA. I'm just going for my numbers, right? And I'm not saying players would cognitively do that, but they would at least say, okay, my team's not that good, but I can still be in the MVP conversation because I'm averaging A, B, C, and D, right? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, with that, they should also probably announce it sooner than they do, because the average fan, they don't understand that voting stops at the end of the regular season.
Right.
And you get situations like last year where a 6 seed who lost in, I think, in the second round had the MVP. And it's like, well, if he's that valuable and important to his team, why didn't he lead them further? Because it's not like they lost. It's not like they lost easy or lost difficult in the second round. They got swept.
Right.
So it's that. And or that was his first year. I'm sorry. They lost in the first round last year. I'm sorry. They did lose in the first round last year. That was his first year of MVP, that they made it to the second round and got swept. So if you're going to do this thing, well, we're not going to tell you what sort of the criteria is, you should probably at least announce it earlier, because otherwise it does look kind of weird in certain situations where it's like, this is your guy who you're saying is quote unquote the best player in the league this year, but he couldn't lead his team to at least the conference finals. And I get it's a team sport. We can pull all of that, but let's not also act like you don't use that to hurt other players.
Yeah, and look, I'm not buying that anymore when people say it's a team sport. You can't put that on a player. Because there's been a lot of times, you called me out on this, of Jason Tatum in the finals. Was it not last year, the year before, right? Or was it last year? Was it last year? Fucking losing track of time. Last year. The Celtics. Yeah,
last year.
He disappeared. Right? He disappeared. You called me out on it, and I know in the moment I didn't want to give it to you, but you're absolutely right. That matters. That contributes to wins and losses. You can't disappear. I think you have to keep track on how many, and this is what you should go by. Not just regular games. You should go by
the important ones.
The marquee games, right? Marquee games. Those big marquee games, especially against an interconference rival, right? Those games should matter. And you should value it on, did he disappear? What was he able to do in that game? How did he affect that game? You know what I'm saying? So for me, like I said, I don't know. Because if wins and losses matter, at one point, No, I want to go there. But anyway, wins or losses shouldn't matter. Joel,
before we
go ahead.
I do want to reference listener Jim's comment about Pat Ewing in Georgetown.
Oh,
I do agree. It is sad that he couldn't put Georgetown back to where they were. Especially as someone who had meant so much to that school beforehand. I just think the players didn't buy in, and it's a different time. I don't know if Georgetown is the name that it used to be. It's unfortunate, but some of those perennial powers of yesteryear aren't anymore.
I mean, I will also say this, as someone who does not watch college basketball, I do not appreciate Mike Woodson continuing to win games. We need you back in New York. Stop fucking winning games so they can fire you, so you can come home. Just wanted to put that PSA out. His alma mater. I don't remember what his actual alma mater is, but he's coaching at his alma mater. And it breaks my heart every time I see that. Like, oh, they're doing great. Oh, great. Yay. That means he won't be back anytime soon.
He's the Hoosiers coach.
It's all right. I'm working on it.
Indiana.
Yeah.
He was born in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Joel told me to stop hating, so I'm working on it. Y'all. But Joel, as somebody that I believe is the mayor of things not being repetitive, how are you looking at the possibility of people even remotely entertaining the idea that somebody could win the MVP 3 straight years in a row? Oh, wait, you're muted. You're muted, Joel.
I thought he was just that disgusted that he hadn't said anything.
I thought the same thing. I thought he was just like, I am disgusted. Go ahead, Joel.
No, that was a really annoying sound, so I put it on mute. No, I normally don't like too many back-to-back or anything like that, because I do believe there's other deserving people that you want to see win, and back-to-back I can go with fine. Twice, 3 times is pushing it. Because, like, how dominant are you? Because that's it. It's like, what is wrong with the league that you're this dominant at this point?
What's wrong with the league? I like that.
That's my problem. But with Jokic, I respect the shit out of anybody that can average a triple-double. On top of that, the team is winning. Last year, I gave him a whole bunch of credit because that team was completely fucking decimated for most of the year, and they still pulled it through. Now, they ended up losing in the playoffs first round. Totally understand. And they started kind of slow, but they've managed to be number 1 in the West this year. And he's still averaging a triple-double, right? Totally respect it. But just like the only difference was, like, I think Westbrook was still averaging triple-doubles at one point, but his team wasn't as successful when he was doing it. Now, Jokic teams are still top of the West, but to me, because they're not top of the league, and he's not dominating those competitors as much, I think you can make a better argument for, let's say, an Embiid or Tatum or I'm trying to think who else I would put up there, but definitely Embiid.
Hey, mute Joel, because that was disrespectful.
It slipped.
Mute
it
him.
slipped in my mind. Giannis.
He looked right at you, dude.
He looked right at me.
Nah. Joel was thinking the same thing I was thinking before when I said, no, I'm not going to go there. He was trying to figure out how to put Julius Randle name in there. It's all right, Joel. I thought the same thing. It's all right.
Julius, I would definitely put him on the list, but just not near the top 5. Maybe top 10, maybe. But at this point, I mean, it's hard to argue Jalen Brunson over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Feeling the impact of him being gone, you definitely go.
You can definitely see.
Was that
MVP? But yeah, I mean, like we said, we're talking about. I think Embiid definitely probably won it last year, but it was close, super close.
Right.
And this year, you could probably make the same argument for like all 3 of them, right? Let's say, or 4 of them. And I just think because I think because how difficult the top of the East is right now, that's a harder challenge than like right now what's going on in the West. Right. Even though they just got Durant and Kyrie, not that it's really made a difference, being that they're always hurt.
I was going to say Durant.
Well, no, Kyrie's been pretty healthy. He just has not contributed to wins.
Yeah, I mean, winning.
Luka, I know he didn't play the last game.
Luka's hurt too. Luka's hurt. Right?
Yeah, Luka said
just recently got hurt, but I don't know how long that's going to be.
Hold on. Let me just say this really quickly. Let's immediately move off of the Dallas Mavericks. The basketball guys are rewarding us, Joel. Let's not tamper with it.
So this is what it is all about.
So let's move right past. Let's move right past.
I don't want
what else did you want to say? Right. What else did you want to say?
No, I just think I respect to Jokic. I don't know if I mean I don't know. How do you say, because basically the last 2 years he's earned it. I'm not saying he doesn't earn it this year, but I think just parity's sake, I just need to see someone new that's just as deserving. You can't say he was worse. You just can't. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. But to me, what's bothersome, like I was saying, is all right, let's say you give it to him, right? And again, I don't think me or Didge are saying that he doesn't deserve it. We're just saying that if he gets it for a third straight time, what message are you sending the rest of the league as to what they need to do? Because unless he gets injured, God forbid, next year, we're assuming Jokic will probably have a very similar season to what he's had the last 2 or 3 years, right? Yeah. So it's like, if he has a season similar to what he's doing now, where do you tell him that he can't win it for a fourth straight time? And then where's the measuring stick for what? Like, if you're telling me that if I'm Kevin Durant, Giannis, Jason Tatum, whoever, that, all right, bet. I just need to come out, average 45, 15, and 10. That's what I need to do to beat Jokic, right? Then bet. Cool. I know now. I know what to set my sights on. But when you go, right, but when you say bullshit like, oh, it was close. You can't keep telling me it's close, but he keeps edging me out. No, I'm sorry. No. It's never been done like that. Again, LeBron was dragging bums to the finals, and they were not rewarding that with MVPs. So I'm like, I don't know. What is your standard? What is your standard? That's all I'm saying. My issue is that I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You should have to stand on. This is what I believe needs to happen for someone to be an MVP. So players and fans know, okay, I know this is where my player has to be for him to represent us as the MVP this year. Because right now, I don't think anyone that's not a voter could answer that question. Because I know Joel Embiid is frustrated. I know Giannis goes out there and puts his body on the line. He's frustrated. I know Jason Tatum's like, God damn, what do I got to do? So for me, that's why I'm saying it feels like the goalpost is moving. This is not a knock on Jokic. I know some people have tried to make it seem racial and all that. I'm not saying it's any of that, right? I'm just saying that I don't know what the standard is. And as long as that's not known, things like this could happen to where it's like he might get it a third time. If his number's even remotely close, he might get it a fourth time. That's all I'm saying. And to me, you got to back that up with, okay, well, if someone is just as dominant as Jokic over the next 4 or 5 years, I assume it'll be theirs, right? That's all I'm saying. So, I mean, because again, there's no way. I believe Giannis is the best player in the NBA, right? I think that should mean something. You know what I'm saying? I think that should mean something. Yeah. If you are the best player in the NBA, I don't know how that does not amount to the most valuable player. That's all I'm trying to say. So for me, however it goes is however it goes. I'm just saying it is a little frustrating because I don't understand what the standard is here. All right, let's move on to something else basketball related. I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about this because we didn't have a show, but obviously the slam dunk contest this year, some people hated it. Some people, were like, it was all right. It was so weird because they were a dunker short. Jericho Sims never showed up. So I thought that was really weird. But I will say this. I have had to listen to people say they are disgusted that more stars don't do the glad to see Didge sign his Supermax over the offseason. Yeah, like I said, Didge, we got that contract done. It was Joel that was holding it up. Joel, he was wanting private planes and all kinds of
trade at first, man. It was rough.
Yeah. Bro, I'm telling you right now, one of Joel's biggest demands was his co-hosts have to be Giant fans. So we were just like, all right, Joel, come on, we can't do that. We can't do that. No, I'm sorry. We just cannot allow that. We cannot allow that. It just, no, the world doesn't work that way. But no, we love you, Mike. Yeah, so I keep hearing people say that Superstar is not doing the slam dunk contest. It's ruining the slam dunk contest. People blaming it on LeBron, all kinds of stuff. I'm going to say this. I do not believe, and this is just my opinion, I don't speak for Didge or Joel. I do not believe that players owe you anything for All-Star Weekend. I do believe that. I believe, if anything, they owe you Sunday. That's it. They do not have to do a skills competition. They do not have to do a three-point competition. And you can't keep holding over their heads. Well, Jordan did it. Larry Bird did it. Well, no problem. You know what you could do? Go dig up Michael Jordan's ass right now, have him put on shorts, and have him do a dunk contest.
You don't have to dig him up.
No, I meant basketball-wise.
All you have to do is go to Charlotte and just give him a call.
Nah, I heard since that game he sat courtside, he has not been in Charlotte since. That's just what I heard. That's just what I heard. Lil Bernie told me. But
I mean, he's not in UNC, so I'm sure he's.
No, so to me, I don't think that should be held over players' heads. To me, I kind of feel like John Morant came out and said, "Bro, I'm an in-game dunker. I don't have any of that creativity to do a dunk contest. I don't want to do it. Zion can't stay healthy enough to do it. One dunk, and it'll be like, hey, medic, 4 months, right? Okay, I can eat.
That's
okay.
what I was looking up.
What?
I wanted to when you said how many seasons. How many games has Zion played? I wanted to look it up.
Yeah, please do, because I know RJ has played more.
We started talking, and I just completely forgot to look it up.
So Joel, I want to ask you: do you feel as though superstars are supposed to compete in all of the festivities for All-Star Weekend? And B, I'm sorry, I said A then two. B, do you are you upset that more superstars don't do the slam dunk contest?
They are not obliged to do anything they don't want to do. But I can also feel that they're fucking corny for not doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't want to do it. Fine. That's on you. But I think now it's not as fun when you take out to the stars that don't want to be at the star game. You know what I mean? Because the Saturday is more entertaining than Sunday at this point. So at least show up there. If you're not going to show up Sunday, show up Saturday.
Okay. I mean, I totally understand where you're coming from, and that's why I wanted to make sure those views were just mine. I just kind of look at it like, bro, not wanting to do it. Like, every year I watch the Pro Bowl, I wish the entire NFL would just say, bro, I don't want to do it. Like, I'd be okay with that, right? I mean, because you're already technically doing that.
For the longest time,
right?
like, they haven't cared about the Pro Bowl in years. There was a point where it felt like the NBA cared. Or at least the players.
I believe the last time the NBA truly cared about the All-Star game was when Kobe played in it. Remember when? Remember that year?
That's a player that took it upon himself to make himself care.
That's what I'm saying. For these guys,
now you have a right to not care, but I have a right to not like that you don't fucking care.
100%. But I believe this newer generation, they just want to have fun, bro. Like they're not looking at it like, I want to make this game as competitive as the 81 or 82 other fucking games I'm required to make competitive, right? So it's like, again, that's what the All-Star game essentially is supposed to be for them. It's fun, right? Now, mind you, people keep holding against players today because Jordan's era, everything was competitive for them, right? I mean, we used to see Jordan, pitch pennies and shit and go, yeah. Whoever loses got to walk home, like all the way back to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is what they did, but that should not be the standard. It shouldn't be the standard. If a player does not think he's good enough to do a dunk contest, don't go out there and embarrass yourself. You know what I'm saying? I believe that should be the case. Didge, how do you look at this? How do you look at the All-Star Weekend?
I agree with Joel. I do think it's very disappointing that more stars don't take part in the Saturday aspects. But at the same time, I do understand the fact that because the players are bigger, stronger, and faster this year, that does also mean that those injuries are bigger, stronger,
right,
and more catastrophic.
right.
So I do get that. But it is still very disheartening for them to just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna sit this out and just be on the sidelines. Because on the same level, they also all say that, oh, All-Star Weekend doesn't feel like All-Star Weekend. Well, it's like, well, yeah, it's your fault. You're taking away some of the mystique of All-Star Weekend, what you're doing. And
Right.
it's like, don't complain and not do it when you have the most room that you can change it. So it's that. But like I said, I get it. Everybody's not gonna do it. Whatever. But it is disappointing.
No, and look, I completely, and listener Jim is also with you guys. I get it. I just don't believe I owe you anything. Like, most of the people there are fans of individual teams, right? So to me, it's like, bro, I give it to you for 82 games. This is like my vacation. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just want to relax and have fun. I'm not looking at it as I want to be super competitive, right? And to me, I just kind of feel like I get it. I would not want to have to do my job 24/7. I would not want to have to do that. I wouldn't want to have to do that. And I'm not comparing it. Obviously, it's different. One's an entertainment, right? But it's like, to me, I felt as though some of the best slam dunk contests we've had are not with superstars. So I'm like, that I don't get. Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, yes. Now that's different.
The
but superstars,
like, you got a guy in a dunk contest I never fucking heard of. It's like,
yeah, but hey, I never heard of what was it? Mac McDonald's. What was it? McChicken.
McClung.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. McChicken. I've never heard of him in my life, and he put on a show. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, to me, it's like, it is what it is. It really just, at this point, it is what it is.
Yeah, but it meant a lot more when it was Jordan versus Dominique, or when it was Kobe out there dunking, when it was Vince Carter, when it was, it meant a lot more. When, hell, even if we're going more modern, when it was Jason Richardson and Dwight Howard, it meant a lot.
It's almost
more.
like a rite of passage.
I get you, but look at that discrepancy you just gave me. One was a sure Hall of Famer, and one was Jason Richardson. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Jason was still a good player.
Jason Richardson was
yes, but no, Didge, come on, stop it. Jason Richardson was a star. Stop it. Come on.
Jason Richardson was a star at the time.
Yeah.
Come on, he was not a star.
He was an all-star.
That does not make you a star, Didge. Kyle Korver was a star. Kyle Korver was an all-star. Is he a star?
At his height, he was a star.
At that time, he was. That year, he was a star.
And that's it. That was my exact statement for Jason Richardson.
All right, then tell you what. I'll agree with you guys then. Stars should do it. Stars should do it.
We're not saying
like
it just should be like Giannis and fucking all these guys doing dunk contests. We're just saying, like, the stars that you come out to see, like the faces you recognize.
Right.
And if you're not going to do it, because McClung literally is a dunk specialist. That's kind of what he was known for, like, coming out of high school. Like, or then get a whole bunch of guys that are just specialists at what they do and put on a show.
I don't disagree. But what I will say is one thing I think a general fan base maybe is not paying attention to is to do a slam dunk contest the right way, right? Like, you talk about the Jordans, the Dwight Howards, the Jason Richardsons, Vince Carters, all those guys. The one difference is that they had the creativity. LeBron has did the same 3 dunks since the day he got drafted. Creativity is not part of LeBron's arsenal. So if LeBron felt as though I'm just an in-game dunker, I don't have that creativity to do a slam dunk contest, I don't blame him. I don't think Giannis does. I don't think John Morant does.
Giannis did the dunk contest.
When he was a baby deer?
He did the dunk contest.
No. I'm saying, was that when he was...
he did it when he was...
Okay.
He did, I think it was like his first or second year.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It
didn't go so hot.
Because I don't think creativity is something Giannis puts off, right? but he tried it, which
he wanted to be. He knew he wanted to be a star, and he knew this is what stars do.
Hey, Kevin Durant ain't never did a slam dunk. So Kevin Durant said, "My specialty is shooting. I will do the 3-point shoot." Right, that's what I'm saying. He's like, "I'll do that."
I'm not,
but that's what I'm saying.
To be in a dunk contest.
No.
Right.
I know you're not saying that, but I'm saying like I'll say this: as far as like the people upset LeBron hasn't done anything, I'll give you the skills challenge. LeBron should have done a skills challenge every year.
But it's
right.
It is disappointing that as much as LeBron is a high flying dunker, it is disappointing that he didn't even try. It is. There's nothing wrong with saying.
Yeah. Let me say this, Ditch. You can agree that LeBron, since let's be reasonable, his second or third year in the league, right, has been revered as the best player in the NBA, right? We can agree on that. Do you honestly think it wouldn't have affected his legacy if he did it and lost?
No.
Come on, y'all are wild.
Jordan was considered like the best player, like his second or third year.
Jordan's still considered the best player ever, and
was still considered the best player.
Yes, but the difference is the amount of what do you call it? Pressure was nowhere near the same for Jordan. LeBron had that since high school. No, I get you, but again, winning and losing, that does matter.
Come on, these are grown ass men. Though.
Come on, like, bro. You're not telling me that if you could hold it against them for not doing it, it wouldn't have
hold him for losing ever for losing the dunk contest.
No. I'm saying the narrative would have been LeBron can't even win the dunk contest. Blah blah blah.
Serious.
No, it wouldn't.
That's my point. So if it's not serious, why does it matter that I don't want to do it?
But that wouldn't have been.
It's for fun.
But I don't want to have the fun. Like I don't want to do it.
This fucking LeBron ruined everything.
It wouldn't have been the narrative.
I just believe that to me, if you're saying it's not that serious, if he would have lost, I don't understand why it's that serious. If I just didn't want to do it,
because he didn't even try.
I didn't want to do it. Like
you know
I didn't want to do that shit.
He set a precedent, and now look where we're at.
I don't know. I think since LeBron's been in the league, we've had phenomenal dunk contests.
We've had good ones.
No,
to be fair, it's very hard to be creative these days because
I think we've had a couple of phenomenal ones. I think you guys are forgetting he's been in the league since 2003.
I'm just saying.
Like we've had phenomenal dunk contests. I'm not saying the greatest of all time, even though I will argue that Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, I put that very high. I put that extremely high. The creativity they brought was like insane. But all right, so I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that. We didn't really get a chance to talk about the All-Star game. I know Joel definitely wants it to go back to the formula of East versus West.
I will never be okay with team this versus. I do not give a fuck. I want East versus West again.
Joel does not appreciate the factor of pickup ball, where you're just going picking your friends. Even though you did say you could do that, you just don't have to do it as Team Durant or versus Team LeBron.
I don't like that either. Yeah.
It was Team Giannis. Take it easy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
forgot.
Sorry. It's Team LeBron versus Team Durant. Okay. So for me, I know the biggest thing that bugs me about the All-Star game is keeping track of the score.
Also,
the way they do it now is very frustrating. Wait, would you say, Joel?
Expanding the roster to 15.
Yeah, we agreed on that. Yeah, we agreed on that because Brunson not making it was like, all right, you need to change the rules. You need to change the rules because this is ridiculous. And I think this should also happen. You cannot still have a spot if you are not actually playing in it. You cannot have a spot.
I think Joel Embiid played like a minute and then never played the rest of the game.
I'm sorry, Joel. I'll do you one better. I think Giannis did tip off.
It was Giannis.
Right. I think Giannis did tip off. Say, all right, y'all have a good night.
To be fair, he got hurt. Time out. Y'all not finna do my boy like that. Y'all not finna do my boy Giannis like that.
Go ahead.
He got hurt. He got hurt Friday going into the All-Star game.
And I believe the moment you figured that out, Jalen Brunson should have been replacing Giannis.
Call him. At least ask. You know what I mean?
That's all I'm saying. Because to me, that was frustrating.
Should have got voted in.
Well, he did. He did. Right.
Depending on the injury that no one wanted to admit. Jaylen Brown was like, I'm going to wear a mask. Fuck it.
Right. He was like, I'm gonna play against
I do
Jason Tatum.
appreciate that
That's
he was
gonna
upset
happen.
that no one was fucking actually playing. So at least he
Y'all
earned
not
it.
gonna do my boy Giannis like that.
No, I'm just saying. To me, he didn't play. So
He didn't play.
why was that a roster spot?
He did play. He
That's
was
my
there for
only
the
issue.
tip off.
He
Got
skipped
up there.
the skills challenge. I'm like, what the fuck?
Hey,
We
man.
had to watch. We had to
Hey,
watch.
man, we had our honorary Antetokounmpo out there and Drew Holiday.
Shut up.
Honorary Antetokounmpo. Don't take
Your honorary oos. You had your honorary oos.
Not too much of my Bucks players.
I hate Giannis for that. I'll never forgive him for that. Jalen Brunson didn't make it because he's selfish. I hate the whole.
My Bucks players.
I hate the whole Nata Manumbo bloodline for that forever. All right, let's move on. I want to kind of go through this rather quickly because I don't think we have too much to add here. Didge, how are you liking the Milwaukee Bucks and where they're at right now as we approach the last month of the regular season? If that,
I think
less.
I think it is I think you're right, just about a month.
Yeah.
I'm really high on them. We're fresh off the heels of 16-game winning streak. Obviously, we lost the one to the Sixers, and then game that we lost to the Warriors, it took us to overtime, and our best player didn't play, and our second best player was out there fiddling his thumb. So I'm really high on where we're at full health, and Giannis is back. Put up 46 last night, so that was really good. I think as long as we can and as long as they can play the basketball that they're supposed to, it's gonna be really tough when the East comes to Milwaukee. That's all I got.
Ain't nobody worried about that shit.
You guys should be.
Messing with you, Didge. You know I'm messing with you. We really don't fear you at all. What is I gonna say?
I don't think you guys have beat us this year.
Yeah, we have. We
we did not. This year has been a struggle.
Joel.
But that's all. It's not like we didn't put up a fight.
You act like I wasn't gonna go look it up though.
Yeah, but I would have just doubled down on my lying. I would have said, "There's no way me and Joel are wrong." Like, goddamn, Joel, you're supposed to be on my side here.
I'm just being honest.
Stop being honest. How many times I gotta tell you that? We are in the lying business on this podcast. All right. No, but all jokes aside, I definitely would want to see you guys Didge, only because I do believe that Middleton is starting to kind of get into the groove of everything. And the more you have Giannis next to him as he's trying to get into the groove of everything, the more they're just going to come back into full form.
Get his groove back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever really truly lost it, but yeah.
He's all right. They're all good.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen the man lose it, but I mean,
I like the pickups that we had. So, like the Jay Crowder, I think that was a
you
very
filled out the roster. I needed
that was a grossly
Middleton
underrated
starting
one.
again, so they're coming about.
All right. No, I definitely see where you're coming from, Didge. They are looking like they're rounding into playoff form. Which is good, which is definitely good. You want to start establishing that dominance now. Let people know what to look out for, right?
The Lakers are up 40 points on the Pelicans.
Yikes.
Now.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one player that, not this week, but when we do our grades of the season, for this season, one player I want to talk about that I kind of felt like has dipped, and I don't really know why, is Brandon Ingram.
I think he's hurt.
I mean, yeah.
Well, no, he played. Oh, yeah, yes. If you mean he's been hurt throughout the year.
He's not hurt. I take that back.
Yeah, he's been.
I thought he was hurt right now.
Oh no, because I saw him play. Yeah, I'm like I saw him play. But yeah, because to me, CJ McCollum has consistently been CJ McCollum. Whatever you view that as, he's been consistent at it, right?
They were good for a small bit in the beginning of the season, and now they've kind of. I mean, as soon as they said Zion's not coming back really anytime soon, they were like, "Well, we're not going to win then." Fuck
yeah.
They fell back to earth. It just that shocked me. I was just on ESPN, just scrolling through other stuff. Saw 88-49, and I'm like, "Yo."
Yep. Joel, how are you feeling about the Knicks so far? I know they stress you very often, but how are you feeling heading into the end of the season? Heading towards the end of the season, rather.
I don't appreciate the stress, but I understand. It is what it is. This is what happens with a squad like ours. We've been playing well. I mean, we've had a good year overall. We just came off a 9-game winning streak, also a nice little 3-game losing streak. But Jalen Brunson's been injured. That hasn't helped. It was Barry. I think he only played the first half of that Kings game,
right?
And he was, he was kind of off. So, and obviously he wasn't good and healthy because he didn't come back. So, but we fought through. That game was still close at the end. All these games that we did lose, they weren't like blowouts. We were just couldn't close at the end. We were in the Clipper game. What was the first game we lost? I forget now. I don't remember, but it's just been annoying. Oh, the Hornet game. Oh, that was frustrating because we had that game.
Oh, yes, because you said you didn't like the grandstanding of Kelly Oubre.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, how's he not got a cramp yet while that flexing? It's insane. But yeah, it's been like it was very frustrating that loss, and then the next 2 losses after that. Because it just felt like we ran out of gas, and it's like, damn, just not the best time to run out of gas. We're trying to go, but at least try to hit that, maybe the 4th seed or whatever. But now and the Nets have kind of hit their stride, so they're kind of playing well. So we're like right now 5th, 6th, and I'm fine with that. Whatever, 5th, 6th, I don't really care which one. Either it's gonna we play the Cavs in the playoffs, or we play the Sixers in the playoffs. I'm fine with either one. I'm just happy that the Knicks are in playoff contention and playing well, which is not something I've been able to say in years past, and doesn't feel as fluky as 2 years ago when we made the playoffs. And it's just really highly dependent on Julius Randle's heroic ball. There's less hero ball, and there's more team ball, and I really prefer that way of winning over the way we were doing it before, where it's easy just to clamp down on Julius and make it hard. And you saw this the last 3 games. It's been hard because he struggles, and then it's hard, But I'm still happy. I'm very happy for this team, and we've looked good.
Yeah, and I will say that Lakers game showed without Brunson what their recipe is, right? And their recipe that worked for them is RJ has to be dominant in the paint. You have to slash. You have to cut. You have to take it to the rim. That's where his strength is.
They need to close that game was theirs, and then they just gave up. They
started to lose 100%. But for some strange reason, the Knicks struggle so much against guarding the 3. And it mainly has to do with them doubling as much as they double. They just are leaving shooters open. That's how we almost lost that Celtics game to Al Horford. Mans was wide open in the corner for that. That was a game-winning 3. That was a great game. Well, yeah, but that was because, like you said, Joel, no one on our roster can actually guard an individual alone. So Mitch was trying to come help on Jason Tatum's drive, and it left Al Horford wide open.
Al Horford was balling on y'all.
That game, yeah, I think he had 6 threes, 6, 7 threes.
I think
but that was because we kept leaving him open off of the help defense.
Luckily, last shot we missed. He was contested, but he still could have easily made that.
We got to thank Father Time, because that was nothing but him being his body was like, hey, I had you the whole 4 quarters. I did not say anything about extra. That is not what we
got to give credit to Al Horford for sustaining as long as he has so far. And look, remember when he left and went to Philly? You thought that would be like the X factor,
right?
And it didn't really work out, and you kind of thought it was over for him once he I think it was in Oklahoma City for 5 minutes,
right?
And then
for a plane ride, that was it.
Yeah, for a plane ride.
As soon as they landed, they said, "Hey, we traded.
We'll work it out. You're not playing." But he went back, got traded back to Boston, and he's been a revelation. So good for him.
Should have been over for him.
Yeah, and I will say,
he had a real last year. He was balling last year.
It is a testament to Al Horford, mainly because every day I watch Andre Iguodala, I'm just like, it's okay to retire, Andre. It's okay.
I didn't know. I thought he retired last year.
No,
I saw him suited up in the Bucks. I saw him suited up when they were playing with the Bucks. I'm like, why is he assistant suited up? And then I looked it up. He was
you like coaches play? Like, oh, whoa, hell no, you're still active?
He clearly didn't get it. He clearly didn't get into the game, but he shook up with Steph Curry. He was like on the bench in like a full warm. I'm like, that's a weird for an assistant coach to be wearing. Right. Then I looked it up and he was still active.
I mean, hey, if that was ever possible, Michael Jordan would have been playing for the Hornets. We know that is
pretty
factual.
Sure Udonis was doing for the Heat.
Udonis Haslem said, "Hey, I'm retiring at the end of this season." We were like, "Oh, we thought you already retired." So, I mean, this is more so just confirmation.
That was another player. I definitely saw that announcement and was like, "Damn, is this like a 2-year-old announcement?"
And can I just say, they don't even use Udonis Haslem accurately. Like, bruh, there are so many times where these Heat games are close. You got to bring in Haslem to punch somebody in the face, dog. Like, Come on, start a fight, get their star ejected.
They've used Haslem more this year than I think they've used him in 3 years. I don't know what happened.
Is it the lack of size?
Maybe.
This man has played 6 games this year.
That's still more than he's played the last couple of years.
I was going to say, Didge, I think that's the most he's played since the year they won the championship.
No, he played 13. Now, I don't know what happened last year. They must have just been hurt. Last year he played 13, but yeah, before that he played 1 game the 2 years prior to that.
I mean, also remember they were a player short because what's his name refused to show up to games. What's his name? Duncan Robinson. The man was just he was not living up to it last year. So they were probably just like, you know what?
His last 5 years. Just
come on.
This is I know he had to be mad last year because his last 5 years were 3 games, 4 games, 1, 13, 6. So I know he was mad last year.
I don't know how he could be mad. You're getting paid.
He had to actually play.
You're getting paid and you ain't got to play.
Actually play.
That's fair.
He played double digit last year.
He was just like, yo, coach, this year you got to bring those numbers down. It's like, but it was only 13. Bring it down to 6. Bring it down to 6. No more than 6. Come on now. All right, let's head into football before we start making our way.
Oh, wait, I got to change my name if we're heading over to football.
Yep, we're heading over to football. This one, Joel, I know you like to give love to everybody, so I will allow you to do that, but my focus is only on the people I think that matter. So for me, I'm just going to immediately pass it over. I'm just going to say my shock was Dallas actually doing the right thing, which is why I'm very upset Prime's not here. I wanted to congratulate him, because we don't often see that. There's been talks of Dallas reaching out to Bobby Wagner also.
I'm glad Prime isn't here. I don't need 2 people being happy. Team are doing.
Why is Joel happy?
Got Darren Waller.
The Giants did stuff. They got Darren Waller.
Yeah. Okay.
He signed the.
I mean, he's been
Hurricane.
He's been so great. He was so great last year, right?
He was hurt.
Yeah, they're doing more than. Do you see my name right now?
But here's the problem, Didge. Here's the problem. The last time we said, "Hey, Bill, wake up, do something," he signed a whole bunch of players that ain't work out. So to me, you go ahead and think about it this time, and you make better decisions. You make better. By the way, hold on, Didge. You know, I saw the funniest thing, and I'm passing it to you. Devin McCourty retired from New England, right? New England fans have been in panic. What are we going to do for safety? We need a safety. Jalen Mills tweeted, y'all do know I play safety, right? One person responded, wait, you're still on the team? It was like...
Oh.
I was like, yo. I was like, I felt that, Jalen. I felt that. You should maybe don't tweet today.
My poor Patriots.
All right, so I pass it to you, Didge. You can talk to us a little bit about some of the things New England lost, some of the things you think New England should be doing, and then if there were any standouts, free agency signings that you want to talk about, floor is yours.
I got what you guys did if you guys want to know. If you don't know.
I have some of it.
Trust me, it wasn't much.
We're bringing back Jabril Peppers. I think we signed an OT, Calvin Anderson.
We did.
Carl Davis is coming. Jonathan Jones is coming back.
Right, Jonathan Jones was the big pickup.
Yeah,
re-pickup.
Yeah, I guess re-pickup is probably the best way. Like I said, we lost Jacoby. Really the gist of what we did. It was more so we've done resign lost people. We haven't really done too much in terms of big splashes. I really do hope that these rumors of a DeAndre Hopkins trade are true, because right now this offseason is looking very frustrating. As you see by my name, someone please wake Bill up. I'm assuming he's just been asleep.
I'm going to say this really quickly, Dij. I'm going to pass it right back to you, right? To me, I just need him to choose which side of the ball he values more, because clearly it's not both, right? So to me, it's like, bro, if you want to do what you did last year,
he's chosen. It's clearly defense.
Right.
It's clearly defense.
Then load up, spend all your money on defense, and just try to keep games manageable so Mac Jones just has to get 14 to 21 points. That's it. That's it. That's really it. You know what I'm saying?
We don't have many weapons on offense, and we lost 2 of them already.
And remember, Damian Harris is a free agent. We didn't even bring him back yet.
Yeah, we didn't. That's what. We didn't put anybody on the franchise tag. We just let the franchise tag signing period just go. Look at it and go, all right, well, have fun.
Yo, sometimes I do be thinking Bill be forgetting shit because he's so old. It's like, yo, Bill, you didn't want to franchise anybody? He's like, yes, I want to franchise like 6 people. When is it? It was last week. Like, shit. Like, yeah, all right, now we're gonna skip it this year. I am glad that they didn't trade Hunter Henry. I do know that they're gonna be. It looks like they're gonna be possibly moving around a lot more players. Obviously, we moved around Jonnu Smith. That was for some cap space. So to me, my biggest issue is just like with Dallas. Don't be moving all that cap space and don't do shit with it. Like that money does not turn into wins, right? Like I can't put the money on the field. So go do something.
Especially because what really worries me is every other team in our division seems like they're trying to do stuff. Like the Bills restructured contracts to free up space. They're clearly trying to gear up for something.
Right.
They're bringing in players. They're shoring up their team. The Jets are potentially getting a former MVP. Who knows where that's going? I really hope that blows up in their face and Aaron Rodgers retires.
Let me say this. No. I hope he does go to the Jets. You want to know why, Didge? Let me tell you why I hope he goes to the Jets. Last year, we beat that Jets team, right? We swept them, right? We almost beat Aaron Rodgers with our backup. So it's like, I don't fear Aaron Rodgers or the Jets. I never have and I never will.
We barely beat those Jets teams both games.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You said we beat them though, right?
Yeah, but remember they didn't have a quarterback. And let's not act like Aaron Rodgers. That when we played the Packers, it was high scoring. Shockingly, like
it was
that we were able to put up some offense.
Bailey Zappi, baby. Bailey Zappi.
It's just I don't want everybody else in our division to get better and we stay stagnant or very much get worse.
Well, here's the word. You want to know something that's going to make you even angrier, Did you ready for this little bit of rumored news? I'm going to go ahead and steal Joel's spotlight and give you the rumor mill. Apparently, the rumor is the Bills have been shedding cap space to go trade for Derrick Henry. So picture Miami bolstering their defense, the Bills bolstering their offense.
They just
the Jets getting
contract. Like,
yeah, they restructured and Josh Allen's
and Von Miller Von Miller. Yep.
Von Miller.
So to me, clearly they're looking for something, right? So it's like they're looking to do something.
They're putting money together for something, and I just don't want everybody else to get better and us to just, like I said, think that all right, let's just do it in the draft because it's not been the best drafter. And
that is very
really
true.
Frustrating that's what we're building off of.
And I'm gonna ask you this, Didge, before I go off of before we go off of the Patriots. I want to ask you this, right? Regardless of what moves Bill Belichick makes, do you believe that if you don't make the playoffs this year, you cannot bring Bill Belichick back next year?
No. I think he has, based off of his history, I think he has whatever leash he has until he decides he's done.
To me, though, I think you're setting a really bad precedent. And you know what I think of whenever I think of again, it wasn't as long, but it was somebody that earned enough cachet to not be fired, and I don't think that they were. You know what it reminds me of, Joel? It reminds me of Tom Coughlin, right? Tom Coughlin just lost that locker room. He just got too old, right? He couldn't do the things he could do. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I would. Well, Tom Coughlin's not a bad example, but I think sort of how the Steelers ran theirs, like how they run their team.
Well, no. Only reason why that's
coaching.
different. Only reason why that's different is their philosophy is always we don't fire head coaches. That's just been their philosophy. New England has just so happened to have so much success. There was no need to fire their head coach. So it's not like they wouldn't. It's like the man gave me what? 6 championships. Yeah. You kind of don't fire 6 championships. Right.
But that's what I'm saying.
If you're dwindling down, you can't continue to hold on to that because if it just keeps resulting in no playoffs, I don't know. And well, that's what I'm saying. Then you know what? Then Robert Kraft's old ass got to stop being in front of microphones then. Because you can't say on one end, I'm sick of not making the playoffs. And then Bill is the reason you keep not making the playoffs, and then you just keep bringing them back. That seems like it's the common denominator.
I'll give you that, but it's really tough to say, hey, this coach who made us the winningest franchise in terms of Super Bowl victories ever, or tied for it, I guess. We're gonna fire him after. You got to figure in these 3 years post Brady, 2 years post Brady, one playoff run, one you lost on the last day of the season. So even if they don't go to the playoffs next year, let's say they go 7-10, God forbid, or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's still it's trending in the wrong direction, but it's still like you weren't basement dwellers. You know, it's just everybody else in your division got really good. And you sort of didn't do that. So it's like, I think you still give them the benefit of the doubt. You should be talking to Bill like, hey, you thinking maybe you might want to retire? You know, we want to kind of get some new blood in. But I don't see them ever firing him. I think his history has given him enough where he'll dictate his terms of leaving, not the team.
But you know how firings be in the NFL, right, dude? You know it'd be that, man, we agreed to both go our separate ways. It's like, yeah, that's firing. I understand. It's cool. You can flavor it how you want.
No, that's not always, though.
Yeah.
Some teams are just like, yo, we said he's done.
Yeah, he had to go. We fired his ass. Were there any other big pickups? Not New England, but anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Honestly, I am glad for the. I'm not glad for them, but it was nice of the Cowboys. Stephon Gilmore, I think that is going to be a really good pickup. But it still fucked the Cowboys and the Giants too.
I mean, if we're being honest, it's fuck the Cowboys every day of the week. I mean, twice on Sundays. We said Cowboys. Why did you take that?
I said the Giants too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear the Giants part. Too. I'm sorry. Well, I agree. Yeah, fuck the Giants too. I didn't hear that part when you said it. So I was like, wait, Joel, you like the Cowboys?
And shout out Jimmy Ward for getting a new contract with the Tech.
No, I wanted Jimmy Ward. So no.
NIU's finest right there.
Nah,
I did too, but still, NIU's finest there. Shout out for getting a new contract.
Nah, he makes me sick.
NIU's finest.
And James Bradbury staying in Philly also makes me sick. I don't want to talk to any of these people. Any of these fucking people. They make me sick. No fucking loyalty. It's disgusting. All right.
James Bradbury staying is loyalty.
No, loyalty to me.
Okay.
They don't even know you.
God damn, dude. You know what I'm saying? How do you know that?
I'm pretty
sure.
How
you know? Pretty sure. Is it knowing?
I know then. I know that.
No, you don't know. You know nothing.
Pretty sure.
Joe. I would have told you. Yeah. I don't hide things. I would have told you. You're right. But Joel, your thoughts on what the Giants did, even though no one cares, and then any other signings that or trades that leaped out to you?
Well, there wasn't many trades, but there was a lot of free agent signings, a lot of crazy ones. Like right now, they just like David Montgomery just signed with the Lions, so they're gonna kind of let Jamal Williams walk, which is weird, very weird for me. I guess I'm not a big Montgomery guy, so whatever. Interesting choice. Giants wise, it's been good. I mean, we filled the need. We got Bobby Okereke from the Colts. We need inside linebacker. That was a very big weakness of ours, so that was a nice pickup, I thought, for us. We ended up trading for Darren Waller. That was shocking. I was like, oh, that's. I heard we were looking at tight ends, but I was not expecting to get Waller. So that for a third pick, and nonetheless, the one that we got for the Kadarius Toney in that Chiefs trade. So that's nice. Waller, that's a hell of an upgrade. But right now, he is the number one target for our newly signed Daniel Jones. So that's a big help. Excuse me.
No, I was about to say newly acquired.
Newly signed.
I was about to say, was he there last year?
Newly re-signed.
Gotcha.
What I meant. And then you have we signed some depth, like the D-line depth. I forget his name. From Tampa Bay, Nunez Roches. So that was a nice little pickup. We're bringing back a lot of guys. We re-signed our punter Gillen. We brought back Matt Breida to back up Saquon, who we tagged, and we're bringing back Gerard Davis, who we picked up at the end of the year, who ended up starting at inside. That's how bad our inside linebackers were, that we signed the guy off like waivers the last week, and he ended up starting in the playoffs. I'm like, okay, if you could do that, then that's a pretty weak spot. But that's all the major moves that we've made so far. Obviously, we're gonna look towards the draft. We'll probably make a couple other free agency moves. But as of right now, I'm happy with what we've done, and we'll see what else goes down.
Yeah, I do believe. I know a lot of people are upset that things aren't moving and shaking, but I think people got to remember a lot of the moving and shaking happened draft night, where guys kind of survey everything and they're like, I don't really want my pick. Here, take it. Give me blah blah blah. And look. We talked about Rudy Gobert setting the market. Look at what some of these trades are for. Like, bruh, the Dolphins got Jalen Ramsey for some gum. Like, I don't even know the player that the Dolphins got rid of to get Jalen Ramsey. And I think it was like a third-round pick. What was it, third-round pick?
I forget.
Third round.
Now, obviously, the Rams are super desperate because they got to clear up some cap space because they ain't got no goddamn draft picks. So I get it. Right, it was a way to kind of get some kind of compensation back and to free up some cap space. But even Darren Waller, that wasn't a huge load for Darren Waller.
Third round.
That wasn't a huge load for Stephon Gilmore. So I'm like,
fifth round.
I didn't see what his was.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's not like people are emptying the clip to make these trades. So I'm like, to me, I kind of feel like that set the stage. So now any other trades that happen, unless it's like a massive one no one saw coming, like a player that wasn't even up for trade until like now, like A.J. Brown. Remember last year, A.J. Brown was why? Like, how did you think you didn't need a wide receiver still? Like, I'm very confused.
That was a draft deal, yeah.
Right. So I'm like, I think people got to remember that. I think DeAndre Hopkins might end up being a draft day trade.
There's still some good free agents out there.
100%. 100%.
Lamar still can go somewhere else.
Lamar could go somewhere. I did see that he laughed at the fact that the Ravens offered him 3 years. I know that
he caught cap on the fact that they tried to say, "Oh, he turned down
200 guaranteed."
Guaranteed.
Yeah, I think people forget. I have social media too, so it's like,
right.
Like I will
like
air
you're not
what
about
actually
to lie on
happened.
my name.
Yeah, you're not gonna lie on my name, even if that is true. I'm still not about to let you talk shit to me like that. But no, I really do think that football is starting to even itself out. I think a lot of the teams that that a lot of people might have thought like, they're shit teams or whatever. I think those teams will be on the rise. A team that I really do want to see make a move, like a team I would have liked to have seen make a move if they had the ability to, were the Lions. I would have liked to have seen DJ Moore go to the Lions. I think that team is very much on the upswing.
Close enough.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said close. He said close enough.
The Bears close enough.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So they are on a major upswing. So I'm happy for them. I'm also really happy for the Jaguars that the NFL did reinstate Calvin Ridley. That is going to be a massive weapon for Trevor Lawrence, and he's motivated. He's very motivated to get back out.
They should trade him
to New England. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, Didge?
I'm glad I didn't have to say the second half of the statement.
We were going to trade for him, but right when we were going to put it in is when the whole gambling shit happened. And Bill, he doesn't like radioactivity. Once you start sparking, Bill goes.
I meant the Jaguars should trade Trevor Lawrence to New England.
Can I be honest with you? At this point, I'll take Daniel Jones.
Let's not be too hasty.
I'm sorry. He made the playoffs last year. I do not believe New England did.
Saquon Barkley made the playoffs.
Hey, no! Don't you shit on Daniel Jones? Yeah, don't shit on Daniel Jones.
Do that.
Even in that game they lost against the Eagles, I don't think he played bad. I don't think he played bad.
You know who was shitting on Daniel Jones? Warren Sharp on Twitter. Did you see? I think it's my NFL analyst. He went on a rant. Well, daily he was talking about different stats. I guess Daniel Jones is the first quarterback to start to never throw more touchdowns in a season than games he started, and he hasn't. This season was the first full season he played. Like, he was going off. It was wild. I meant to see some of those stats.
He's not the only one that was talking shit.
To me, I think that's whack, and the only reason I think that's whack is, excuse me. To me, if you're winning, that's really all that matters. I really don't, because it's not like Daniel Jones is being talked about the same as Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes.
But it's the $40 million. How we talked about Rudy Gobert, kind of.
But it's like
market giving.
You got to remember,
but to me,
million.
You can't judge somebody off of the fact that the franchise was desperate to hold on to him.
It's fair.
So I'm like, if they're willing to pay him, how are you blaming Daniel?
It's fair, but you can still criticize them, and you can criticize the Giants too.
Oh, for sure. But to me, to criticize them when the bar should not be high for him is what bothers me. Like, again, if we talk about Daniel Jones the same way we talk about all the other up-and-coming great quarterbacks, then I would go, yeah, because the standard is high. But his standard should not be that high because his level of play has not exceeded that yet. So if it does, then it's like, sure, then you can kind of, jump on it. But
that's worth saying that level of play wasn't worth $40 million. That's worth saying.
I completely understand that. If you're telling me another franchise gave him $40 million, then I would go, why is there a bidding war for Daniel Jones? But the Giants paid him rather quickly also.
But that's the reason why, because the word was, he's going to demand this in the market. He's that's what made it. That's sort of where the criticism came from, where he shouldn't have been worth that in the market.
And now, one thing I want to point out is, look at how many teams right now currently still need a quarterback, and how none of them have made any moves to go acquire one. So again, if the market was that high and teams were that desperate, and it was like, he could maybe go somewhere else, I did not hear that bids were being put in high for Daniel Jones.
He got signed before you could. So you couldn't hear anything.
That is also true. Right.
But like Lamar, like right now, people haven't bid on Lamar Jackson. Why? They should. I mean, how is he still in?
Because I believe Lamar's number might be too high.
It is.
That's where the statement came. That's where all of this came from, though. Is his market was worth $40 million, but Lamar's wasn't. A former MVP's wasn't. That's where all of this was coming.
It's more. That's the problem.
Well, again, I think the bigger issue,
but not according to the Ravens.
I think the bigger issue. I think that's what I was just about to say, Joel. The bigger issue, Didge, isn't that Daniel Jones set a crazy market. It's the fact that it seems like the Ravens are in no rush to lock down their franchise quarterback. That is the bigger conversation.
And that's been obviously has been an issue for more than just now.
Right.
But like, look, Daniel Jones' contract, it's 4 years, whatever it was,
160.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really 2 years for like 80 or whatever, not whatever it was, because we're basically gonna get out of it after the second year because that's a dead cap,
Well, you know what, Joel? You now know what Daniel Jones has to do. He has to pull a Jalen Brunson. Because remember, we had to sit there as people shat on us for paying Jalen Brunson all that money that we paid him. Now the narrative is he might be underpaid, and it's like, no, you can't double dip, bitch.
That's the thing. Right now, you got to remember he didn't have. Who was he throwing to? Think about that.
That is also a really good point.
He was throwing to Saquon Barkley, who's not a receiver. I mean, that's not. I mean, luckily some guy stepped up towards the end of the year, but
that's why I say
tight end. We had the fifth string receivers. It's like we had nobody.
That's why I say, to me, I can't judge a quarterback if he does not have at least a weapon, like a legit throwing target, that I can go, okay, that's their difference maker right there. They should have at least one. You don't have to have multiple. Just one guy that's your go-to guy. And I don't think that he had that since he's been there.
He didn't, and I don't like the whole fact that he only threw for 15, but he ran for 7. So it's like
right.
It does they ignore that he ran for 7, which is harder to do than throwing a ball. But whatever.
No, but we're talking as your quarterback. Remember, that's always the knock. Not a quarterback. Sure, they can.
All I'm saying is,
can they actually play quarterback?
All I'm saying is, Didge. All I'm saying is, I don't know of one franchise that wouldn't take the numbers Daniel Jones put up last year, but the result was making the playoffs. I don't know one franchise that wouldn't take that.
That's fair, but that still doesn't necessarily.
I'm not even going to argue that it's not he getting there's more than too much money, but you're going to overpay your own guy. It happens
100%.
And
but that shouldn't be a shock. We said that about Draymond. That like if Golden State re-signs Draymond, they will probably re-sign him for drastically more than anybody would be willing to offer Draymond.
And it would be. And I would say the same thing then. I don't get why I'm the bad guy for acting like
no. Definitely not saying you're the bad guy. We're just saying that if a team who has raised that player feels as though they're worth that, I can't fault the team for wanting to keep their guy, especially coming off of a season where you made the playoffs.
And because they're also paying for what they think he could be more so than what he was. Because obviously the last 2 years he's turnover prone, mainly because he just fumbled the ball, not that he was throwing picks, and he was constantly hurt. He was fragile.
I'm just saying, I look at Daniel Jones. He has the ability, right, to have the same kind of narrative change for him that Ryan Tannehill had. Ryan Tannehill's name was shitted on in Miami. I mean, shitted on.
I remember.
But he did not have the greatest of talent. Tennessee. Oh, no. It is in Tennessee because he has not elevated his game. But he has played drastically better in Tennessee than he did in Miami. And that's because he just had better talent around. So all I'm saying is that if the Giants elevate their talent around Daniel Jones and he's still only giving you a handful of touchdowns, then I believe, yes. You got to look at him like, bro, that's wild.
15. He did it his rookie year. So
He did do it his rookie year.
Right. So that's all I'm saying, Didge. You're not wrong at all. I'm just saying I still believe there's room to grow, but the talent needs to be there. And I don't think we can even remotely act like Giants had the talent, but Daniel Jones was
think about it. He set that precedent. So don't tell me that guys like Burrow and Jackson eventually will not get more than him. They will.
I mean, bro, Deshaun Watson in the middle of a trial got the most insane contract. So I'm like, Daniel Jones can't be the standard of that's weird. The man got a fully guaranteed contract in the middle of a trial. Like, that's the wildest thing I've ever heard of.
That was also a wild one. That could be more than a wild one.
That was crazy. So I get you that you might look at that contract like, that's a lot. But again, for what the Giants value him for, I believe they thought that was what was needed. I mean, hell, look at what Jalen Brunson has done for the Knicks. They 100% would have probably paid more if they knew he'd be this good. They might have given Jalen Brunson the first ever fully guaranteed.
Dallas would have never let him walk.
Right, hell yeah, Dallas would have never let. No, it is two different sports. Did you're absolutely right. I'm just saying it's very much a desperation plays a factor. Him being a homer plays a factor. Him just coming off of a playoff year is a factor.
Him looking this good just this year is really what the trepidation comes from, because it's like he hasn't done it all 4 years. It's really just this year with this coaching staff.
Right.
Luckily, you still got this coaching staff, and we've shown that he can do it. It's just a matter of can you give him weapons to make it better?
And I do think the Giants were thinking the mindset of, if our head coach can make Daniel look like this and make the playoffs in year one, what can they do if we put them together for 2 to 4 years and put more weapons around them, enhance that defense?
Right.
What can they look like? No, go ahead, Joel.
No, I'm just saying like that. If they wouldn't have re-signed him, they didn't. If Dable didn't like him, let's put it that way.
Right.
You know, and that he gave the okay. Like I can do it with this kid. He likes him enough to think that they can get better, and they gave themselves an out if it doesn't work out.
And I will say this, Didge, I do believe that the Ravens have been shit-talking Lamar Jackson to other franchises, because I do agree with the idea that if you are willing to pay Daniel Jones that,
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson is just a better version of what you were doing with Daniel Jones last year.
You would assume.
So, right. So to not go after him means that something's awry. And I don't think it's because of Lamar Jackson. I think that these old-ass white owners get together and it's like, no.
And he doesn't have an agent. So imagine. So
he doesn't have an agent.
Talking shit?
You know what? You know what's even crazier, Joel? That shouldn't even be a measuring stick because remember, Richard Sherman never had an agent.
True. But this is a quarterback trying to get
I get you.
To set the bar because he's going to be the highest paid quarterback in the league if it's all said and done, right? Do you think about that?
I mean, hell, if Atlanta gets a shot at him, he will be because Atlanta was so close to getting Deshaun Watson. It was Cleveland coming in and going, "We will pay you every dime. You don't have any incentives. Every fucking thing. We'll give you everything." And it was just like, whoa. I can't say yes quick enough.
It was very close.
Like, yes, I'll do it. So I believe Atlanta will try to get something done for Lamar Jackson. And I think he's going to turn that around.
Who did Atlanta just sign?
Ain't nobody better than Lamar Jackson.
No,
that's fair. I forgot who they signed. So clearly it was
Heineke.
Oh, okay. I knew it was somebody.
To me, it's still a good insurance. Like, I don't assure you a starting spot. Yeah, that doesn't assure you a starting spot.
Yeah, he's coming off the bench.
Didge, I will remind you.
They also got their rookie they're trying to build up.
I will also remind you that Taylor Heineke was pulled for you know who last year in Washington. So if they took you out to put that bum motherfucker in, clearly they don't think that highly of you. So I believe Atlanta was just like, we might need,
he also got pulled for Taylor Heineke. To be fair, he also got pulled. They were getting pulled for each other. Point.
Yeah, they were. It was a tug of war between those.
It was yoink.
So all right. So I'm gonna ask this on the way out as we wrap up here, guys. Joel, I'll start with you because I think Didge's answer might be a little biased here.
Well, you don't know that.
I don't.
Can we safely say that Miami has the best tandem cornerback?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think who would probably compete.
Well, remember now you have Diggs and Gilmore.
Oh, right. Oh, you know what? That's a good point.
Depending on how you view Gilmore and Diggs, but I'm just saying they're a tandem. I'm just saying they are a tandem. One of them is a former Defensive Player of the Year. So I'm like, yeah, you can't just overlook that.
I forgot about you're right. It's so new, it's so fresh. Don't
forget, we got the committee of the Joneses up in New England. Don't forget about that.
And I like
Jack Jones, John Jones. Yeah, the Council of Joneses. We got the Joneses up in there.
Definitely
Marcus Jones. Yeah. But no, so I think it is Miami by a landslide. I really do. Because I believe Howard at his best can completely lock down the side of the field. And I just think Jalen Ramsey is a completely physical corner. That's just more. Jalen Ramsey's becoming Patrick Beverly. I'm learning that. So it's like he might not get the interceptions. He might not get the strip sacks or anything like that. But he'll fuck around and get in your head, right? And force you to make a mistake, right? So he is becoming Patrick Beverly, which is sad to see because he should still be revered as one of the best corners. But I think to say that wouldn't mean much because I don't think there's a lot of great corners in the NFL. I think there are going to start to become some because I think a lot of them are young right now, but there's not a bunch of them that I can say are elite.
Yeah.
So it's slim pickings. But Didge, do you agree with that? Are you giving it to Miami?
I don't think so.
Who are you giving it to?
I might, and this is going to be a leap.
Let's hear it.
I might give it to the Chargers. Asante Samuel Jr. and Bryce Callahan were great.
Okay. I didn't know who you were pairing. I thought you were putting J.C. Jackson in there. Okay, I completely agree.
Asante Samuel Jr. and Bryce Callahan were balling last year.
Asante, I believe, is a future superstar in this league at corner. Yeah, I don't disagree. I disagree because I do believe it is still Miami, but I agree that you reminded me that it's not that gap is not that wide. The Chargers do shrink that. And if you can get J.C. Jackson to be even remotely good next year, yeah, that is an elite. Right. And don't forget, you got Derwin James blocking up the middle. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Yeah. I'm with you. Lock and step.
I had to think, like, wait a minute. because also the Broncos were trash, but Pat Surtain's second was.
Yeah, yes he was. Yep, I'm with you there. So Joel, with Didge putting in the Chargers, does that change your mind at all? Or are you still rocking with Miami?
Oh, I forgot about that. So imagine you think I won't remember fucking the Chargers. So maybe not.
To be fair, I mean, it's tough because we haven't seen those two play together, obviously in the secondary.
You would expect them to be.
We're expecting on paper they should probably be.
And I don't think the schemes between the two teams are drastically different, right? For Jalen Ramsey, didn't he play a similar scheme in Jacksonville?
I don't know what I don't know. Oh, maybe I was going immediately to the Rams. I don't know what kind of defense they run.
Yeah. So for me, I'm with you there. The Chargers are definitely the one to look out for, if only they can get a competent quarterback. But yeah, the Chargers defense is definitely something. That secondary is wild. So good pick.
That defense is wild.
It is. Picture if you can get more pressure on the quarterback because your corners are making it so rough for the receivers. Yeah, that could be a fun defense to watch next year for sure.
So will 49ers defense. That front three is scary.
That front three is great. And their corners are nothing to sneeze at either.
True, but that front three
is their heart, right? Yeah, I'm with you there. And don't forget Fred Warner.
True.
Fred Warner is a beast at middle linebacker.
He may not even need to do too much though with that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, hell yeah. He might just chill. He might just, pull up a chair like, you got it, right? So I can't wait to see some of these defenses. I think it's going to be a big defensive year next year for the league. I really do. I really, truly do. But all right, this is a good comeback show. We got a lot more basketball to talk next week, a lot more football to definitely talk next week. And I'll definitely give you guys the episode to do draft talk because you guys know I'm not big on college. So we'll give you guys, the floor to talk some college. Obviously, March Madness is going on right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Damn. They're saying the Darren Waller trade might have been they're saying it. Oh, sorry. Quickly, they're saying the Darren Waller trade might have been due to some friction between him and McDaniels.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Get the fuck out.
But it's like reason. It's because Darren Waller was upset that McDaniels is leaking stuff about his wedding at the combine, using him as stuff about Raiders news.
Oh, well, Josh McDaniels, continue it so that they can fire you so you can come home. I mean, you guys know I've been wishing for this since day one. So
that is kind of messed up. Both him and his wife played in Vegas, and he was just like, "Oh, you mad? I'm gonna trade you away then."
Yeah, fuck you. Now let's hope he keeps doing it so he can get fired and come home. That's all I could ask for. But all right, guys, shout out to Joel and Didge for joining me on this episode. Prime will be back with us next week. Shout out to Mike and listener Jim, Trayvon, also in the comment section. Trayvon, you skipped out on this one. We'll make sure you're there next week, though. But thank you guys so much. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for our breakdown on the newest episode of The Mandalorian. There's going to be so much to talk about for that. So make sure you guys tune in.
They said it's supposed to be the longest episode ever.
Yep. What? And Didge.
What time?
I was about to say, what time?
Well, yeah, it matters to me because I gotta get up fucking early to watch that shit.
Oh no, it drops at I'm sorry. You meant how long is the episode? I thought you meant what time does it drop?
How long is the episode? That's what I
got you.
56 minutes.
I'm sorry.
How long?
56 minutes.
56 minutes?
That's what rumors are.
You know what Joel reminded me of is that Rush Hour scene when he was talking the amount of money that they were trying to ransom the girl for. What do you think she is, Chelsea Clinton? That's what popped up in my head. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And Didge, we know how big that mythosaur is. We know where it looks like they're heading with that mythosaur. So I can't wait to break that down with you guys tomorrow. But thank you guys so much, and until next time, peace.